Okay, hey, welcome back. In part one of this course, I want to talk about mapping your milestones. So the milestones are the key and measurable junctures in your customer's journey. Okay, so let's begin by grabbing yourself a piece of paper or a whiteboard, physical or digital. We just need some mechanism for getting these milestones out of your brain and somewhere where you can visually assess them, and then ultimately where we can diagnose and prescribe solutions for how to make improvements to this experience. So let's begin by mapping your purchase to the center milestone, right? So just draw 3 columns or 3 bubbles, if you will, and the middle one is going to be the product that you are selling. I say that because too many small businesses or entrepreneurs, they treat the purchase as like the end goal, as the conclusion to your customer's journey. And I like establishing it in the middle because it reorients things and it reminds us that that purchase is actually the fulcrum in the relationship that we have with our prospect. Now, if you have multiple products or services, that is totally fine. And ultimately, you will want to do this exercise for all of them. But let's begin by focusing on just your core product, your core service, right? And the way that you can tell your core product or your core service is by removing anything that you sell. And whichever one you can't remove, that's your core product or service, right? If you have 5 things and you can remove 4 of them, but you can't really be a business without removing the last one, then that is your core product or service. So it's fine if you have multiples, but let's treat this initial exercise as being a way to assess your core offering, okay? So pop that bad boy in the middle here. And let's then jump to the milestone prior to that purchase, right? So something generally happens before they end up at that purchase. So think about what that might be. I've got some options written down here, which is things like an opt-in, right? Signing up for your blog subscriber or your YouTube videos or your tips series, but it could also be a physical download like a ebook or a white paper. It could be requesting a free trial if you offer a service or if you have a course that people can take for a test drive. It could be requesting a consultation if you offer a free consult as a way to get leads and prospects into your process. It could be a demo if you have a software that people need to see or experience before they end up signing up. It could be a quote if you are in a service-based business and your product or service is variable depending on information that you need to collect from that prospect. So requesting a quote is a common one, or it could be something like a digital tactic or a webinar rather, which is a digital tactic, right? So think about the thing that happens before they buy your product, right? And it might be the day before, it might be an hour before, or it might be several weeks before. That's not the point yet. Let's just think about what that milestone might be. And then from there, we want to jump to after the purchase, right? What is it that we want them to do after they buy? And it might be as simple as take a survey about their experience, but it might be something more involved, more strategic, like buy a second product or buy the same product a second time. It might be something like leave a testimonial, right? Tell us how this product or service affected you, what results it produced, right? Participate in a case study for us or make a referral. Do you know somebody else that this thing would benefit, and how can we connect your friend to this service so that it serves them as well? Or it might be an upsell into like a continuity program, a membership of some sort. But the idea isn't necessarily to do all of these. It's just to figure out where are they going, right? Where did they come from and where are they going? Because the composition of those 3 things is ultimately going to serve as the framework for our customer journey. And I acknowledge that you might already know the answers to these, so this might be a breeze, but I want to spend time illustrating those different examples in case this is the first time you've thought about your customer's journey in this way. So here are a few additional examples of what that might look like. I've got, downloading an ebook to purchasing a product and then ultimately taking a survey about that product. Requesting a free trial, buying the main course, right? And then upselling to a membership, signing up for a webinar or purchasing a product directly from that webinar, and then renewing that product if it's a quarterly or seasonal or annual subscription. Or I have purchase 1, purchase 2, purchase 3, right? Your 3 milestones might be all purchases. They might be 3 products that have formed a product progression path that your customers adopt. Like the initial example I gave in the last video, which was a $27 product, a $57 product, and a $297 membership, right? So that's fine as well. Or a demo that leads to an offline physical sales call, and then after they accept and become a customer, requesting a referral from that person. So the goal here isn't to necessarily copy what I have, but it's to unpack what are the 3 milestones in our business, right? What are the before the purchase, and the post purchase, okay? And a little pro tip for you is I've been using 3 as my example here, but it certainly doesn't have to be 3 milestones. In fact, the more granular you can get, the better, because that will allow you to be more specific in the next step, which is paving the path between those milestones. So don't hesitate to get hyper specific if you have more than 3 milestones. You could very easily have 5 or 7 or 9 or even an even number of milestones. And if you are familiar with lifecycle marketing, the lifecycle marketing framework is a great guide for this process, right? It's a 9-step framework that helps you organize your customer journey. If you're not familiar with lifecycle marketing, we've got some different resources that cover that. I'm more than happy to share them with you. But if you are familiar, I just wanted to call out that can be a useful tool for organizing your milestones. Now, once you have done that process, we'll move on to step number 2, to part number 2 of this conversation, which is paving the path between those milestones. But for now, I just want you to focus on thinking about the milestones, whether it's probably a minimum of 3, but it certainly could be more, as they pertain to your core product or service. So the thing that they need to do before they purchase, the actual purchase being the fulcrum of that journey, and then the thing or things you want them to do as an outcome. So go ahead and spend some time on that. And when you are ready, I will see you in the next video.